Okay, class, let's continue. Okay, so number 28. Okay, so here's the background. Okay, an entity acquired land, okay, for 4 million. So that's the purchase price. Additionally, to acquire the land, the company paid 240,000 commission. Okay, so costs of 60,000 were incurred to clear the land. So ito actually yung main problem. Okay, so during the course of clearing the land, timber and gravel were recovered and sold for 20,000. So ito muna emphasize natin yung treatment dyan sa proceeds from the sale of timber and gravel. So basically mga scraps, okay, na na-recover dun sa clearing. Okay, so again as I mentioned previously, okay, in the last examinations so medyo dumadami na yung ganitong style ng question. Yung bibigyan ka ng situation, okay, tapos yung bibigyan ka ng several statements. Usually nasa 4 statements, minsan umaabot ng mga 6. Tapos i-identify mo kung correct or incorrect, true or false. Okay, so the first statement is true. As mentioned, okay, earlier, okay, PAS 16 requires the entity to recognize the proceeds from selling timber and gravel and yung related cost of those items in profit or loss in accordance with applicable PFRSS. So again, okay, starting January 1 nga, 2022, yung proceeds na yan before intended use. Okay, so hindi na siya pwedeng okay, deduction. So dati yan, dinideduct yan from the cost of the asset. Okay, so doon nga sa cost of testing, so yung proceeds, okay, at yung cost of testing ino-offset. Pero as discussed earlier, doon sa problem number 11, okay, so effective January 1, 2022, yung proceeds at yung cost required na i-recognize in profit or loss. Okay, so wala tayong problem doon sa proceeds. Ito yon. So, okay, effectively, income yan in profit or loss. Kaya lang ang problem, paano yung cost niyan? Siyempre, hindi naman bigla na lang nagkaroon ng timber and gravel na walang gastos. Okay, so paano yung cost? So the second statement is also true. PAS 16 requires the entity to measure the cost of the travel and timber and gravel sold by applying the measurement requirements of PAS 2. Okay? So actually, kaya ito nga nung nagkakaroon ng nung nagde-deliberation diyan sa amendments na 'yan. Okay, so para bang ang nangyari, parang ano ito parang unintended consequence of the amendments. Okay, and actually pinoint out ng mga nag-comment dun sa exposure draft na siguro dapat ihiwalay yung kaya yung na-produce in the ordinary course of business at yung hindi na at yung na-produce not in the ordinary course of business. So hindi katulad kasi nito, balikan natin yung problem number 11. So dito kasi ito yung proceeds. Okay, this one. Tapos ito yung cost. Okay? So walang problema actually kung yung na-produce ay inventory. So syempre alam na natin kung paano yung costing ng inventory. And ang requirement nga, as discussed earlier doon sa number 11, yung proceeds na yan, kung inventory yung na-produce, yung proceeds na yan, sales yan. Tapos itong 30,000 na cost of sales yan. So walang issue doon. So ito, okay, income, ito expense in particular, ito sales, ito cost of sales in profit or loss. Ang problema in this problem, hindi naman normal nagbibenta ng timber and gravel ang entity. So para bang incidental siya, incidental na nakapag-produce okay, ng timber and gravel as a consequence of what? Clearing. So para bang ito nga yung sinasabi na unintended consequence ng amendments. Okay? At yung pinapoint out nga ng mga nag-comment sa exposure draft, dapat huwag nang i-cover yan. Okay? Pero sabi ng IASB, okay, hindi. Same lang ang treatment. So whether or not daw, okay, yan ay in the ordinary course of business, dapat yung proceeds i-treat as income. Okay, tapos yung related cost, i-treat as what? Expense in profit or loss. Kaya lang, yun nga ang problem. Paano i-measure yung cost? Yun. Okay, ang naging solution dyan ng IASB, i-apply na lang yung PAS number 2. Kasi clear naman daw sa PAS 2 kung paano yung measurement ng inventory. So, kumbaga, i-apply by analogy yung alam natin sa pag-costing ng inventory. Okay? At ang naging solution ng IASB dyan, i-disclose. Kaya tama din itong number 3. Yan. Okay? So, in-amend din yung PAS 16 to include this disclosure requirement. So, PAS 16 requires the entity to disclose the amounts of proceeds and cost included in profit or loss that relate to items produced that are not, yan, so not an output of the entity's ordinary activities. So kasi nga, okay, so katulad niyan, hindi naman normal nagbebenta ng timber and gravel. So yung ni-recognize na income at yung related expense dyan, so required siya ngayon i-disclose. Okay, so yun. Part ito nung naging amendments dun sa PAS 16. So pinapa-disclose kung nagkaroon ng income and expense na ni-recognize na hindi siya output. Okay, that are not an output of the entity's ordinary activities and specify kung saang line item isinama yon in the statement of comprehensive income. Okay, so kaya clearly, ano itong 20,000? Income in P&L. Kaya lang ang problem, magkano yung cost niyan? Okay, so syempre hindi naman pwedeng walang cost yan. So yun ang problem. So i-apply daw natin yung PAS2. Ang problema, okay, mag-allocate pa tayo dito. Ito kasi yung clearing cost 60,000. So magkano dyan sa 60,000 ang i-attribute natin doon sa timber and gravel? So yun ang problem. Okay, so although yun nga yung concept, ang concept nga kasi dyan, so doon sa pag-recognize ng income and expense, dapat same lang. So actually, ang nag-trigger talaga dyan, yung nag-trigger dyan sa amendments na yan, yung practice sa mining. So kaya ang ina-anticipate actually dyan ng IASB na maapektuhan itong naging amendments na ito, yung nandun, yung involved sa mining. Kasi sa mining, bago sila mag-commercial production, meron silang ginagawang test mining. And in the process of test mining, syempre may napoproduce, may gastos. So nung wala pa yung amendments, lahat ng napoproduce, lahat ng benta doon, dinididak lang sa cost. And actually, ang nangyayari minsan, mas malaki yung proceeds kaysa doon sa cost. So kaya instead na may ma-report na income, ang nangyayari, yung net amount, so nakagiging net deduction sa cost. So yun ang nag-trigger actually ng amendments na yan. So kaya ang concept involved, okay, whether before or during production na yan, so dapat yung related income and expense dapat daw sa profit or loss. Kaya lang ito na, nadama yung ibang related transactions katulad nito. Okay, hindi naman to mining. Okay, so pero yun daw, kailangan i-apply uniformly yung requirement na yun. So kaya yung 20,000 na yan, income yan. Pero dapat yung related cost dyan, expense. Ay, yun ang problem. Dito sa hindi katulad ng problem 11, sinabi, ito yung proceeds, ito yung cost. Kaya wala tayong problem dyan. Dito, magkano yung cost ng timber and gravel? Hindi sinabi. So, for practical purposes, kaysa mag-allocate pa tayo dyan, so magkano ba yung direct materials, direct labor, overhead, syempre yun ang mga related cost dyan Okay? So, for practical purposes, pwede nating i-assume na kung magkano yung proceeds, yun din yung cost. Okay? Kasi there's no way in this problem to know magkano yung related cost. And it will not be it will not be consistent kung nag-recognize tayo ng income nang walang cost. So, magkakaroon ng mismatch naman. Okay? So, kaya for practical purposes, i-assume na lang natin na yung naging proceeds, yun din yung related cost. Kaya effectively, yung 60,000 na yan, babawasan natin yan ng 20. So, para dun sa cost. Pero kung let's say lang let's say dyan sa problem na yan, in-specify na ang gastos, okay, so 30,000. Yung 30,000 expense, yung 20,000 income. Okay? So, pero dahil wala nga sinabi, wala tayong magawa. So, gawin na lang natin na yung 20, yun na din ang cost. So, yan kasi parang unintended consequence nga ito. Okay? Nung naging amendments. Okay? So, number 4, is that true? Let's see. Let's get the cost of this land. Okay? So yung purchase price, syempre include yan. Okay? So purchase price include. So syempre yung commission, include din yan. Yung clearing cost, include din yan. Kaya lang yun nga, okay, part ng clearing cost na yan, may na-recover na timber and gravel. So portion of that, i-allocate natin as cost of the timber and gravel. So yung proceeds from the sale, income. Yung related expense, ay yung related cost, expense. Eh, hindi nga natin alam magkano yung related expense dyan. So yun na ding 20,000, yung related cost. O, gawa natin ng entry para mas makita mo yung picture. This one. Unahin muna natin yung purchase price, yung commission, at yung clearing cost. Okay? O, let's say walang problem kung walang na-recover. So let's say walang na-recover. Yun na yung cost. Okay? So gawa natin ng entry. Okay, to record yung purchase price, commission, and clearing cost. Debit, land. Total cost, 4,300,000. Credit, cash. Again, kung walang na-recover, no problem. Answer, 4,300. Yan na yung cost. Eh, kaya lang, yun nga, may na-recover na 20,000. Entry, debit, cash. So, naka-receive ng 20,000. Anong credit dyan? Income. So, income dapat yan. Okay? Eh kaya lang, kung ni-recognize siya as income, anong requirement? As noted in number 2. Dapat may cost din yan. I-apply nga yung, okay, by analogy, yung requirements ng PAS2. Eh, hindi nakaspecify sa problem, magkano yung cost. Alam nga namang walang cost yan. Bigla na lang na-produce yung timber and gravel. Okay? Siyempre yung, okay, kaya nagkaroon ng timber and gravel yan, part yan ng pag-clear ng land. Okay? So, kaya entry in relation to the cost, debit what? Expense. Eh, hindi nga natin alam magkano. So, i-assume natin 20,000. Okay? Pero kung in-specify sa problem, gamitin mo kung magkano yung in-specify sa problem. Katulad doon sa number 11. Okay? Then, anong credit? Okay? Eh, syempre, nabayaran na yan before. Okay? As part of this one. So, babawasan natin na lang yung land. So kaya nga for practical purposes, actually ang magiging net entry diyan ha. So yung magiging net entry dito sa land, rather do sa proceeds. Okay, ang magiging net entry, debit cash, credit land. So pero kailangan ipakita natin na dumaan siya sa P&L as income and what? Expense. Kaya lang actually, dahil hindi naman to okay, in the ordinary course of business, di ba normally paano ba nire-report ang gain or loss? Ang revenue, gross yan. Pero ang gain or loss, usually pag na-report, net. So that is proceeds minus yung carrying amount. So kaya effectively ha, okay, wala ding mapapakita doon sa okay, income statement. Kasi nga, okay, usually ang gain or loss naka-net eh. Proceeds minus carrying amount. So effectively, no gain or loss. So pero dito, pinakita lang natin na may income, merong expense. Pero once pinresent na yan, basically naka-net yan eh. So yung proceeds and carrying amount. So kaya lang, just to highlight, yan, may income, may expense. At kung hindi nga siya output, okay, of the entity's ordinary activities, then dapat naka-disclose yan. At kung saang line item isinama yan dun sa statement of comprehensive income. Okay, so again I think ito nga ay unintended consequence ng naging amendments. Kasi ang tinatarget talaga doon is yung mga mining companies na nagkakaroon nga ng test mining na ginagawa. Ang naging practice prior to amendments, lahat ng proceeds deduction sa cost. Okay, in some cases ang nangyayari, mas malaki yung proceeds kaysa doon sa cost. Kaya na naging issue. Okay, so instead na merong additional cost, nagiging deduction pa sa cost. So, yun nga ang nag-trigger ng amendments. So, kaya ngayon, as a result of the amendments, basta may proceeds prior to use, treated yan as income. Tapos yung related cost, expense. Then, yung pag-identify doon sa cost, apply PAS2. Okay? At kung hindi nga siya, okay, basically inventory or not an output of the ordinary entity's ordinary activities, dapat naka-disclose yan. Okay? So, based on that, so ima-minus natin itong 20,000. Kaya it will appear na para bang, okay, ganun pa rin yung treatment before na deduction siya. So, kasi nga, may cost, nandito yung cost niyan. Okay, tapos may cost na dapat ay expense, Tapos ito yung proceeds na dapat ay income. And since yung 60 na yan ay part na ng cost, so effectively, nung nirecognize yung expense, binawasan yung cost. Okay? Kaya effectively, yung proceeds para bang nagiging deduction din from the cost of land. Kasi nga, nakasama yung clearing cost dun sa cost ng land. Okay? Pero technically, dapat may income, tapos merong expense. So, parang nagkataon lang na parang naging deduction for convenience. Pero kung naka-specify sa problem, yung related cost, then yun yung expense. Tapos yung 20 income. Okay? So, dito lang kasi silent eh. Hindi natin alam magkano yung cost. So, inassume na lang natin. O, sige na nga, yung proceeds, yun na rin yung cost for convenience. Okay? Otherwise, identify mo pa magkano labor dyan, magkano overhead dyan, and other costs related dun sa clearing. So, na-attribute natin dun sa na-recover na timber and gravel. So, medyo may, kumbaga, practical problem dyan. So, kaya for practical purposes, yan, i-assume na lang natin yung na-recover, yun din yung cost. So, kaya tama din yung number 4. So, yung net, okay, nung clearing cost, net nung proceeds, okay, so kasi nga inallocate natin. So, net, okay, that's 4,280,000. So, based on that, answer, delta. All the statements are true. Okay, so ayan na. Okay, I think this is an intended consequence ng naging amendments. Pero yun nga, damay lahat. Okay, so wala kasing in-exempt eh. So hindi, yun nga yung pinopoint out doon sa deliberation eh. Gustong ipa-isolate yung, ipahiwalay yung, okay, na-produce, okay, as a result of ordinary activities at yung na-produce, okay, not in the ordinary course of business. So, pero yun, whether ordinary or not ordinary, okay, course of business, basta yung na-recover, yung proceeds, income. Tapos yung related cost, expense. Pero yun nga, pagka ganito ang situation, for practical purposes, ang nangyayari, yung proceeds, yun din yung cost. Kaya effectively, ang net effect, yung proceeds na dideduct. So effectively, nagiging deduction from the cost. Okay? So 28, delta.